us. But like we always do, it's a very interactive one where we don't only get to talk to you, but you will also get to talk to us and answer one or two questions. And today, our question for the day is find the quadratic equation whose roots are -2 and 7. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are -2 and 7. If you know the answer, just give us the equation as it is. Don't give me A, B, C, or D. Note that. Just give me the equation. Then if you get the answer correctly, you get a gift. The program is proudly sponsored by Prince Engineerin And You, FNSC, and he has a lot of gifts packaged for the program for the winner of everyone that wins our question for the day. So why not calculate it, the mathematical question, and get the answers and call us in the course of the program. We'll let you know if you are the winner and we'll get the gifts across to you. Without wasting any of our time, we'll take this very, very short break. And when we return, I will let you know who my guest is and what he will be talking about. Welcome back. My guest for today is Dr. Engineer Rilwan Oluyide, and he'll be talking about a very interesting topic that he captioned, Science, Technology and Engineering, the Hope of a Sustainable World. What does that mean? I would like to welcome Engineer Dr. Oluyide to Engineerin And You this week.
Thank you very much.
So, let us know what you have in stock for us. What does this mean? Unravel the mystery.
Thank you very much. And greetings to the youngsters at home, the scientists, technologists, and engineers of tomorrow, who are the hope and future of Nigeria. So, the topic for us today is science, technology, and engineering, the hope of a sustainable world. So let's start and see the contents. So we have a content of this question. Firstly, we need to define and explain all the key words in the theme. Thereafter, we discuss why and how so much degradations in the world. Then, science, technology, and engineering to the rescue. And lastly, challenge for the youngsters. Now, science has been defined as the knowledge of structure and behavior of the physical, social, and natural world, derived from the fact of experience. And this fact of experience comes from observations, experimentations, and testing of theories against the evidence obtained. By this we can say, naturally everybody is born a scientist. Because you see the toddlers, they are very inquisitive. They test, they touch, they do this, they do that. Even the elders usually say, don't leave the child, let him go. If the fire burns, he will know. That is kind of observation. And by the time, although it is not good, that the child feel hot, don't let me go there. So everybody is born a scientist. So let's move on. Now, technology. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge for the practical purpose of man. That is, after you acquired that knowledge, what you do with that knowledge is what is termed technology. Additionally, products of this scientific knowledge are also termed technology. We have tangible products, which are machineries and equipment, tools, apparatus. Also, we have intangible products, which are the software. They are the product of scientific knowledge, and they are termed technology. That's why somebody will say, what's the latest technology in communication? Or this one is the latest technology. product of application of scientific knowledge, can also be termed technology. But I want the young ones to focus their mind really tonight or this evening on the first one, that is the application of scientific knowledge for the practical purpose of man. Now, engineering. Engineering is the practice of cleverly applying scientific principles and mathematics to creatively design, develop machines, structures, apparatus, and of course software for the greatest good and effect. I put that effect there purposely because sometimes you want to get an impact from something. The good might be not something that is palatable, but for a reason. And that is why we talk about all this atomic bomb and the rest, but we are not going there. But we need to put it there, that we get the maximum of the greatest effect. That is the purpose of engineering, and you cleverly apply scientific principle and mathematics to get your greatest effect or greatest good. Now, we need to define science, technology, and engineering. What of the sustainable world? Now, a sustainable world is one in which we do not damage the environment or overuse the resources as we live and meet our needs. Thereby, we'll be able to live a peaceful, beautiful, and a bountiful environment for the future generations to thrive. It means that while we are advancing, making life comfortable for us, we should be mindful of the coming generations so that we don't jeopardize their own ability to enjoy life. So any development devoid of this is not a sustainable one. And therefore we have to make the world a sustainable one where we can make it and leave it better for the coming generation. Now, we know that the world is built on a delicate balance or undelicate balance of cyclic process. Life itself is like a cycle. And the most important cycles I want to draw attention of the young ones to this evening are the water cycle, the carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, and nitrogen cycle. These cycles are very important and it rests on delicate balance. Any little imbalance in this cycle will have negative consequence in the world. And what do we find? Well, you find that uncontrolled human activities have caused lots of imbalance in nature with their attendant effects. And some of the human activity that produce all these degradation in the world, the first or the chief among them is the Industrial Revolution that started 1760 in Great Britain. It means moving from agrarian and handcraft economy to the one dominated by machines. And you see, they started producing, at a very large scale, producing smoke emission into the atmosphere. And by the time the other countries caught up with the Great Britain, it was like a competition. And there was a limited knowledge about the effect they are doing to the atmosphere. So just a race. You can imagine the quantity and the quantum of emission that have been releasing since 1760, that the solar revolution started, till we speak now. Another one that is causing degradation is what we call boom in plastic production and use it. Somebody even said we are in the plastic age now. Because hardly, you look around, you will not see plastic products. This chair you are sitting on, your laptop, your toothbrush, the phone, your pillow, almost everything. And one thing you must know about this plastic is that they are inorganic. They are made from a synthetic material that can last over 1,000 years before they degrade. So they just litter the environment, block our water channels, do lots of things. is really a cause for alarm. And also emission from power station and transportation sector produce lot of damage to the ozone layer. As the industry are doing their own, you have a lot of emission from the power generating stations, from vehicles, and so on. And of course, deforestation. Deforestation is the intentional felling of trees to meet our needs without adequately planting or being mindful of the environment. So all these activities of man have caused a lot of havoc. And that is why every year we keep on hearing in Europe and South America, this year there is this record high temperature.
Yeah, heat wave.
Heat waves, bushfire, wildfire. Every year, I told my people around me that it is evident that this temperature is getting to record high. This is 2023. 2024 summer, you see, the summer temperature has reached a record high. Unless we do something and stem this tide. And that is where science, technology, and engineering come to the rescue. Now, the United Nations, realizing this...
we have a caller. Hello. Hello, good evening. How are you today? Alright, do you want to ask my guest a question, or you like to answer? You want to? Alright, go ahead. Alright, I'll let you know if you are correct, Kennedy. Thank you so much for calling. Alright. So please go ahead.
Now, the United Nations, realizing the effect of all these human activities and what it portends for the future generation, came up with 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And I critically looked at all these 17 goals, and I discovered, not because I'm an engineer, that none of this is achievable without science, technology, and engineering. For instance, let's look at the number one goal, no poverty. Of course, we know that science, technology, and engineering create wealth. It creates new opportunities. It breaks new grounds. It provides jobs. So if we engage in this, of course, we can eradicate poverty. The second one there is zero hunger. All these 17 goals are interlinked. Of course, by the time science, technology, and engineering create for you job opportunities, new business ideas, creation of wealth, of course, you are okay. Hunger will not be in your own story again.
We are on that caller. Abeokuta. Hello, Ayo. I think we left Ayo there. You can go ahead.
Now, the third one, good health and well-being. Of course, we all know the wonders of what biomedical engineering is doing. How precisely using artificial intelligence that they can diagnose diseases like cancer and the rest, using machine learning to study our own system, and they spot anything that this one is foreign, it picks it up at a very early stage so that can be cured. And of course, the recent one that we can all relate with is during the COVID-19, when there was scarcity of ventilator. The engineers, the industry,
we have Ayo back. Hello, Ayo. How are you today?
Fine.
Alright, you want to ask my guest a question, or you want to answer our question?
I want to ask
Hello, Ayo, it can't hear you. Sustainable. The meaning of sustainable?
Yes.
Alright. My guest is going to answer your question. Thank you so much, Ayo, for calling.
Yeah, when you say something is sustainable, it means something that you can carry on doing without damaging your environment. Something or a process then you can carry on for a very long time, but without damaging or impairing your environment. So if you can do that, then that process or that action is a sustainable one.
All right. You can continue with your presentation.
Now, let me quickly go to this number 4, quality education. It's very interesting. But people will not know. Nowadays, all these science or the engineering gadgets can be distraction for children. Yes. But for a smart child that can overcome that tendency of being childish with those things, can put them in better use. Science, technology, and engineering provide so many teaching aids and tools for both teachers and students. Now they can go on the internet, see past questions and solve questions. That is all this.
Hello, good evening. Glory from Moe. Good evening. How is Moe today? All right. Can you ask my guest a question, or you want to answer our question? All right, Glory, go ahead. S squared minus 5x plus 14.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll let you know if you are correct, Glory. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, today, I really need to say this.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
And the effect of science, engineering, and technology on education is always for us to see. I remember during our own time in JAM, if you score above 200, you're a superstar. It allows you now, you see students scoring 360, 380. What do you think is the way for all this? Because they have more access to educational resources that we do not have back then. For those of you that want to be serious, and I want to say this, in no distant future, you will see somebody scoring 400 in JAM. Because for somebody to score 99 mathematics JAM is not a joke. So I see in the next picture somebody scoring 400, and all thanks to all these resources made available by engineering for those that can put it to very good use. And I challenge the young ones at home, please use your gadget very well, and you see the result. Now, let me talk about it, because that is actually my own field. Renewable, affordable, and clean energy. I'm a renewable energy expert, and there is no way you can achieve that goal without engineers. And when I say engineers, scientists, because they are the foundation that bring up those knowledge that we are now applying. Because we need to do away with all this fossil fuel. The solar, the sun is there, and the sun is the source of all energy. And we have it in abundance, especially in this our part of the world. It's just there. You just need to just tap it. It is a developed and mature technology. It's just for us to have that will and determination. And doing that, we will provide clean and affordable energy.
All right, we have another caller. Hello. Hello, good evening. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Promise from Joko. How are you doing today? All right, please go ahead. You want to ask a question? You want to ask our question? Hello, Promise. All right, I think Promise is not connecting with us quite well. So please go ahead.
So, Sam, as I was saying, affordable and clean energy is run around us. It's just for us to just tap in. We have experts, enough of them. It's just the political will, and we create the right atmosphere. The wind is there, the hydro is there, biomass is there. So we can use all this, and as we are doing this, we are helping our environment and helping ourselves. It is something that is very doable. Then another one I want to talk about here is the reduce inequalities as part of the Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations. Of course, as a country begin to advance in science, technology, and engineering, it will create way for that country. That country will be sophisticated. Other developed country will begin to treat that country with respect. And that is their way of bridging the inequality gap. It's not just saying it with mouth. It is you go back, start to be serious with the development of science, technology, and engineering, and they will begin to take it seriously. For instance, if you have your own nuclear whatever, no country can just come to you and treat you anyhow. That is on one side, even economically. So to create or bridge that gap, we must advance in science, engineering, and technology. And let me say this as challenge for the young one. Now, they have, of course, we know the solar system. We're in the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy is, there are so many galaxies. So it's always fascinates me studying or reading about space. And the Earth is just a tiny dot, and it is our home. It's like you are living in your own mansion, and that is the only house that you have. Won't you clean it? Won't you do sanitation? So we have to realize that we have no other place to go. This world is ours and the planet's ours, and for our children yet unborn. So we must take it seriously, and therefore I want to challenge the young ones that they should take up studies and careers in science, technology, and engineering to be better equipped to protect this planet Earth that we call home.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Oluyide, for this very, very great exposition in sustaining our world. I want to ask just one question because our time is almost up.
Okay.
Now, we have plastic all over us.
Yeah.
And plastic are not biodegradable.
No.
Now, what other alternative do we have to plastic?
Thank you. Thank you for saying this. There is one of my staff that is doing a PhD on what we call bioplastic. That is plastic that has nature, therefore that can degrade in no time. And she's using, in one of our studies, trifoliate yam. Trifoliate yam is what we call a suru in Yoruba. Hardly you see anybody eating it. So by letting that trifoliate yam go through some bacterial fermentation, they can come up with materials that will be as good as plastic. And of course we have material scientists and material engineers working on this. So there are alternatives. Only if we think and we look inward, and that is the challenge of all of us as scientists and engineers. Nature is so good that whatever you need has been provided. It's just for you to realize it and tap into it.
Realize it, tap into it. Everything you need is around you, provided to you by God. On this note, we'd like to say thank you to Engineer Dr. Engineerin Oluyide for coming. It's been a very, very wonderful time. I've learned a lot personally, and I'm sure the young ones out there have learned one or two things. But if you want to learn more, next week's another time. And for the question, our question for the day, none of you got it correctly. The answer is s squared minus 5x minus 14 equals to 0. None of you got it correctly. So next week, you can give it another try. But you can have the opportunity of winning the prize, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineerin And You. If you can answer the question for the week correctly. And what's the question for the week? If 9 raised to power 2 minus x equals 3, find x. If you know the answer, that's our social media platforms all around on your screen. Get there, drop the answer, and if you can get it correctly, you get your prize, courtesy of our sponsor, Prince Engineerin And You. I'd like to, we have to go now. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for always watching Engineerin And You. And thank you to our sponsor for always being there for us, Prince Engineer Mr. Shilon. Until next week, my name is Tunde Olanio. Bye-bye.